Good evening, everyone. So this evening I want to look at the uranium stocks and their charts. Just do a quick technical analysis. Just so you know, my game plan is to actually go through these and actually look at the fundamentals as well and share that with you. But this evening we're going to start just by looking at the charts now. Monday night the market is closed. So yeah, let's take a peek. So we're going to start with Anfield Energy here. Anfield Energy, as you can see, they've been trading in the market since 2011. So they've been around for a while. They have a mill that they're trying to rebuild. I'll go through the fundamental stuff on a future video, one by one. But so here it is. We're in a downtrend, right? We've been making lower lows, right? So we're in a clear downtrend, and here we made a low. And now we made a bit of a higher low. So this is kind of a trend bottoming pattern. We can see we're coming down. Now we're making this bottoming pattern, and hopefully one day soon we will break out of this. Now, if you see all of my charts, I'm going to be very transparent with everyone here. Any dashed blue lines, it's just my entries. So sometimes you'll see I've had some good entries and sometimes not so good. But I'm always fully transparent, as I don't think you can really share anything if you're not that way. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm down significantly on this position, but a small position nonetheless. So all right, and that's why I'm going to go through all the fundamentals as well, because I think there's some value still in the market in uranium, and I want to possibly add to my position in the future. So let's take it off log scale, because that's screwing up my drawing here. This is a monthly chart of Appia Rare Earths and Uranium, right? So they have some rare earths projects actually in Canada here, and outside of the basin. So they're an interesting play. So we've had a pretty big drop here. As you can see, my average price is much higher, which was not the best. Sometimes you get excited, right? So one of the lessons here, I am far from being the best investor, but you learn from your mistakes and you keep going. So anyway, we have this type of arc pattern, a downtrend. We're right at the bottom here. So I'm hoping this kind of turns around here and we can find some support and come back through. Yeah, so that's all I'm going to spend time on it. So Canalaska. So this one here, I'm much closer to my entry price. We had a major spike here in 2016. So we came back up. I put this kind of sideways arc. It almost looks like a shield here, and you could see it was kind of, every time it touched it, right, it was resistant. Sometimes you don't have to use like patterns that are well known by everyone. If you see something that looks right, draw it in, and there's probably something that explains it. But at least you can kind of use it to your advantage, right? Even if so, this is kind of like a sideways shield, but it did come out significantly out of this. This is a monthly chart, and now we're just doing a little bit of consolidation on top here. So interesting pattern and bullish for sure. Denison Mines, DML, is for the TSX. So we kind of had a really significant ramp up. We came back down here. I bought, I think, over here, my first purchase, which was pretty good. And I bought some more during this consolidation. So I still feel pretty good about my position. We have this triangle, sideways triangle. We broke out of it. Now we're just consolidating on top. And I believe this trend will continue. Encore Energy, so one that I added to my portfolio not long ago. We're right on support here. So I drew support. This would be a really nice buying opportunity, I believe. You can see this thing, how choppy it is. Look at all the wicks on this thing, both on the top and the bottom. But if this would break through on the downside here, I don't think it would get very pretty. I think it would drop quite a bit. So far, we haven't broken out of these major trend lines. So we will keep an eye on it. And this is one that I might want to get into, because they are going to be a producer of uranium very shortly, if they're not already. I think they're going into production soon. So yeah, very interesting. Fission Uranium. So Fission Uranium, you can see again my entries here, but we have a significant downtrend here. We kind of broke out of that. We've been trending upwards since then. And now if we just draw this in, I can modify this a little bit. Like so. Right, so we have this downtrend, and we also have this support trend line right over here like this. So we're squeezing here. We're really squeezing into the apex of this triangle. So we'll see which way this breaks out. Fine, I'm really surprised by this one. I'm really surprised that it came all the way back down. And honestly, anybody that's not invested has the opportunity to buy where I bought. I was up like 100, I don't know how many percent. But I think, I don't know, what date is this? December 2020. Anyway, I bought along this blue line. So either it was here or here, I'm not sure. But we had a nice run up. We came all the way back down. We kind of had support here. So if you look at this area here, we can see our support. And you'll see I don't have much on my charts. When you're looking at a monthly chart like this, I don't find all the other indicators are very useful. The price action, the support zones tells me pretty much everything. I mean, you can look at volume too, though. Volume is important. I just have it off right now, but I do look at volume too. You can see descending volume here, and once we do break out, we can expect a significant volume to come back up. So I threw in the volume in there so you can see. So what you want to see when you're consolidating, you want to see the volume go back down so that we can wind back up and then really have a blast off out of the pattern. So energy fuels, and if you see trend lines that look weird, it's because they're on the shorter term time frame. So my apologies for this, but I use them when I'm looking at more short-term stuff. So we had this big bottoming pattern here, right? We had some consolidation on this side, consolidation here. You could say for sure that this is, let me just go in a little bit here. This could be a massive head and shoulder pattern, inverted, right? So you got a big shoulder here, a big shoulder here, a big head down here, and then once we pop out of here, you can measure from the bottom to your next line and then kind of anticipate what move you're going to get. So I think we're in for a really good move here. I think this consolidation is really good. You can see the volume declining. Well, look at the volume here now. Very interesting. In January, the volume kind of broke out, right? Is this January or February? No, February's here. So January had a higher volume, kind of broke out that. So you can also draw, see if I can do this here. You can draw trend lines on volume. There's nothing wrong with that, right? So you do that, you can see, oh, you had a breakout in volume, right? And then hopefully we have a breakout in price. Hasn't done so yet. Well, I did here, right? So we're looking at January. Forget the other candle, but this was a breakout out of this trend line. So breakout on the volume, breakout on the price. Energy Fuels, one of my favorite companies to own now because they are producing. They have a mill. They're building another part of the mill for their rare earths. Anyway, we'll go in all those details in future videos. So Forum Energy Metals. So you can see here, I kind of like this kind of slowing down of pattern. You can, once you get used to it, you see it's kind of like a big arc coming down. So that's what I see here. It has good potential. I think it's cheap, but obviously that's just chart-wise. We're not talking about any fundamentals, so I'd have to dig into the company to see more. Fission Uranium 3.0. So you can see, actually now it's called F3 Uranium Corp. They changed their name recently. Volume has been massive on a monthly chart here last 3 months. They've hit a discovery. They're exploring it. There'll be a lot of samples coming in, a lot of assays coming in. So we'll see how that goes. We kind of ramped up here. I had bought this thing on that blue line, probably it was right here in 2021. So that's when I bought in. We can see here this nice kind of bottoming formation with the trend line. That's kind of what got me interested, and I bought a little later right up here. So we kind of broke out here, massive. We were coming back down to test. It's kind of not surprised to see this. So if I put a horizontal line right here, we're testing this breakout level, right? So we're testing that out, and then hopefully we gain some support and a couple of assay results come in, still positive news, and we ramp back up. So GoVX Uranium, one of my favorite plays outside of Canada, outside of the States. They're trying to find funding now to fund and to develop their project, which is a really good one, in my opinion, with a lot of potential and a really long life. Too bad these interest rates are high. I'm not sure how that's going to impact their financing. But anyway, we had a breakout in January, and now February so far, we're retracing. We're almost 50% retraced the last move. So I'm interested in this. You can see this wedge here coming in, building a lot of power. Really nice volume coming in on this breakout last month. So I'm hoping this reverses, that this becomes a wick in February, and that we start our rise up. Centrus Energy, LEU. So this one here, we've had a really good ramp up. We're coming back down. We tested support here, right? We came back up, testing support again, and then we broke out again. So two big trend lines here, broken out. We're doing a bit of a pullback, and hopefully we can go back and retest this high, which of course I never sold into. I'm not someone that takes profits very often, especially with uranium. I think we got a lot of potential, and I don't want to miss the ride when we do take off. LTBR has been a fun one. I did take profits on here. I'm not sure exactly where, but I still hold a position, as you can see on the blue line here. We'll put this on the log scale so we can see it better. So you can see here that, if I can back up a little bit, I don't know what this thing's doing here. It's a little lost in space. I think it's because of the log chart. So let me log in here, zoom in here. There we are. So we broke down underneath this trend line, not very bullish down here. I wouldn't say this chart is very bullish in any way. We still haven't broken out really. This, you could say this is a breakout, but I mean, you can play with this until you see a nice big move. I don't like to call it breakout yet, so it's kind of hard to draw a trend line there, but you can see we've clearly broken down. We might be doing some type of wedge here formation, and if we kind of blast out of here, this thing can move pretty quickly. So still something interesting. This is not a mining company. Lightbridge Corporation, they have a technology where they're doing fuel rods and stuff like that. We can go into the weeds of things later. But anyway, they're not a mining company. They're a new technology, which has been around for a while, but they got a new patents and everything. So anyway, one that's interesting to watch and something different than a mining company. So if I'm rambling a little bit about the companies, I don't want to get into the fundamentals because I want to take really the time that it needs to look at all of it. So Next Gen Energy. So Next Gen Energy, we can see this kind of big cylinder. You can almost say that this is like the Livermore cylinder going up and down. I can adjust this maybe now and cheat and do this. Yeah, you can kind of see what's going on here. So a lot of consolidation here. Volume is kind of picking up. We really want to break. You know, when you look at these monthly charts, what you want to do is you want to close above the wicks, or within the wicks, right? So you can see wick here, wick there, wick here. So there's 3 wicks on this trend line. And if you actually draw it out, there you can grab a couple more. So once we break above this on a monthly chart and actually close the month above this, you know, that's going to be positive once we do that. So something to look out for. PurePoint, uranium exploration company, been around for a long time and part of the last cycle as well. As you can see here, all the way back to 2005. So that tells you something, right? Company's still around. What I like about this, the CEO and the interviews I've seen, is they don't try to oversell, which can be a negative, but they're conservative. I think I really like their style. I see a reflection of myself in there. They're authentic and they say the truth, which is not the case for a lot of these other companies, maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, so PurePoint, we're kind of coming down here, testing this above trend line. Hopefully we break out soon. We'll see. Still very cheap here. Well, cheap. Again, I say cheap just by this metric of looking at the chart. Nothing else. Standard Uranium, one of my biggest fails. I put a bit too much money in this one, honestly. I thought I really liked where they were going, but good talking heads, good videos, good media presence, all this kind of stuff, but no result as of yet, which is kind of normal, right? We're exploring. So it's more my problem than their problem. But lesson learned. I'm still holding on to my position because I think, you know, they're one drill result away from having a really nice move. I'm diversified through all these companies. I just wish I bought a little less shares in this one. or taken some profits up here, which I had. But I think the opportunity will come. Sprott Uranium, I have some, a good portion of my uranium portfolio in here. When I say good portion, I'm not sure how much percent. I'll have to check the percentages now, but probably a 5 to 10% allocation. So we have broken out, but now we're coming back in the pattern. That's why I'm saying that it's important to look at the monthly charts to make sure that it closes above a trend line, because now we broke out, false breakout, and coming back down for now. The month is still young, so this can turn around, really kind of blast off here and have a really, really nice candle with a nice wick. This whole thing would be a wick. So yeah, UEC. This one here has a nice Jesse Livermore pattern, really coming up here. Same thing with the trend line. We're still trying to get above these wicks. Once we do, I think we'll be in business. But you can see here, just a lot of consolidation. And these big consolidation patterns are going to be a really, really good floor for prices in the future. URC, Uranium Royalty Corp, the only royalty company that I know of that focuses on uranium. So we're still consolidating here on the base, adjusting my trend line here to grab this latest wick up here, right there. So we got one touch there, one touch here, and one touch up here. Right. Some people draw it with the wick, some people draw it with the candles, but right now, no breakout. We thought we had it, and we came back down. So that's the case for most of these. As the dollar is strong, this week everything's coming down, including gold and silver. URE as well. WUC, which is a Western Uranium and Vanadium Corp. They actually have assets, and so it's surprising to me that they're this cheap. There might be something behind it that the price is so cheap, but I haven't done a deep dive on the company, which I want to do. But we are coming down here. You see my average price here, down almost 50%. But with my research, if I do see that there's a good potential and good growth and a good case, I might average down here and get some more shares at this valuation. You can see these big volume spikes here. Sometimes there's rebalancing going on with URA, URNM, and this causes these big spikes. Global Atomic, a recent position that I took, so we're right on support here. I'm hoping this holds. I think it probably will, but obviously this is kind of parabolic, right? But they are a company with the closest projects going into production very, very near term. So they will probably profit the most out of this cycle for that. And the other ones are just duplicates on the other exchange. Maybe we can go look at Camco real quick to finish off the video. So another kind of accumulation cylinder here with a massive breakout. So this one has been, this might be forecasting what we're going to see in the other companies, because right away looking at this, I can see the same pattern, right, going up into the cylinder with this downtrend line and this massive breakout. Really encouraging to see from the major company Camco. Yeah, so that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this uranium video, and I look forward to doing a deep dive in the companies and sharing that with you in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you.